Now that you have learned to edit the company parameters screen, created passwords, set up users, edited entry types, seen the flexibility of periods, and established the tax system for your business, you can move on to setting up your customers.
Setting up customers. As you can see, an account number has been allocated for customer control, cash book discount, and an interest account. Here you can set the interest rate at which you would like to charge your overdue customers, the minimum interest amount, which must be reached before you start charging this interest. And you can select whether you would like Pastel to warn you if customers are overdue when you process new invoices. You are able to choose whether you want to print the tax percentage, tax amount, or just leave out the tax completely when printing. You need to select your default tax type to be used in your journal entries. The most commonly used will be the tax type 1, standard rated VAT. The tax reference prompt amount box needs to be completed too. By law, you are required to enter the VAT number of any customers whose invoice amounts to more than 3,000 Rand. The user-defined fields can be set up for any particular information you require for a customer. For example, the bookkeeper's name and contact number, or the sales manager's details, and so on. Within the Statements tab, you are able to adjust your paper style options for printing statements. You can also set the minimum statement amount, that is, the minimum amount outstanding to warrant a statement, as you do not want to incur costs of printing and posting statements to those customers with a minimal amount outstanding. You can also select the aging totals to print, anywhere between 1 and 5. You can also select the amount of statements you wish to print, should both you and your customer require a copy and you would like to keep one for your records, for example. The tick box for the Always Print in Balance Forward format is a useful option, as most customers prefer receiving their statement in this format. When deciding whether to print only the invoice totals or the invoice lines on a statement, you should consider that printing invoice totals is the most chosen method. However, certain industries require invoice lines to be printed on statements, as they don't usually print invoices. These industries include the medical and rental industries, for example. The statement messages can be set in the screen too. You can input what you want each aging statement to say when they're being sent to your customer, such as kindly settle your account within 30 days or your account is overdue, please make payment as soon as possible. The next tab to explore is the Defaults tab. Setting up the Defaults tab on the screen will apply to all of your customers, and you will only have to edit certain details specific to each customer when setting them up in the Edit menu. The normal payment terms refer to your customer's standard terms to pay. This can be changed for each customer, but it is useful to create a default standard. By setting terms, you are able to view overdue customer reports, which will detail exactly which customers are overdue on their payments. Let's look at the other options on this tab. Price list. Here you will select the default price list for this customer. Interest from. Here you will set up from when you will begin charging interest on your customers' overdue accounts. Credit limit. The default credit limit for customers, at which point they cannot buy more goods until they have paid all or part of their account. Invoice discount. The default discount to be issued on each invoice. Early payment terms. Click on the box and zoom in. Choose Modify and create your early payment terms, being the percentage and the amount of days from an invoice or statement where an early settlement discount will apply. For example, 5% within 7 days from date of invoice. Select the default terms you would like to apply to your customers. Printing. You can choose whether to print your document, email your document, or both print and email your document for both documents and statements. When selecting your statement message, you have the option of assigning the oldest terms message or the first terms message. This means that should your customer owe you money from 60 days ago, the message on the statement will be the 60-day message if using the oldest terms option. If using the first terms message option, the message will be the terms of the latest outstanding invoice amount. Processing method. Here you will have the option of open item or balance forward processing. There are distinct differences between these two. Open item takes slightly longer and is more work, but the aging of accounts is more accurate. Balance forward is quicker and slightly less work, but you can't leave an outstanding amount in a certain period as it balances from the oldest down. Tax entry method. You will select either exclusive or inclusive. Remember to pay attention to instructions given during exams, as it is important that you select the correct tax entry method. The category option. Here you will set up default customer categories, for example, primary schools, high schools, tertiary institutions, and so on. You will need to assign each category to your customers individually within the edit. Customer screen. The final two options in the defaults tab are the freight method and ship or deliver tab. You will adjust these as appropriate for your business. Now, when clicking on the descriptions tab, you will see two options. One being for the postal address descriptions and the other being for delivery address descriptions. Within these fields, you will enter address prompts, which will display when adding new customers within the edit menu. For example, number, street name, city, and so on. The final tab is the rounding tab. A general ledger account will need to be created for the rounding to be allocated to. This will usually be an income statement account as an expense. The rounding options are none, normal, round up, or round down.